No, why is it not
Who's the
going live?
Times,
Fooyalla.
Is it still popular? Paw Patrol?
There was a movie came out, and I would have thought that in a bygone era, my kids would have been all about watching that movie. They've shown zero interest. They've so moved on to it. And there's a game. My kids did download the game, but it's real cookie cutter bargain bin.
Yeah.
It's,
Yeah.
there's just I don't know what it is about those games, but it's just like everything has no permanence to it, no weight, and they're just kind of like floating about despite the animations.
Yeah. It's like a template and they just swap out the assets with the next thing. You're like, this is the same as Bubble Guppies.
Welcome to the Bubble Guppies video game featuring Blaze.
Rubble on the double. It's lunchtime.
Let's get Rubble's generic phrase going now. There's just one audio file they forgot.
Yeah. I can see it.
All right, we've propagated out. It's time to get this show on the road. We are live. The adult beverages are poured. The kids are asleep. Welcome to New Dad Gaming, a show about fatherhood, gaming, and new fathers figuring out their gaming lives. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old and a 9-year-old.
You know what else I have?
What do you have?
I have a list of 6 things. 6 things that you're going to randomly guess we're going to talk about.
Okay.
Gentlemen listening, the situation was I came to the show with a plethora, a smorgasbord of things to talk about. It was just a huge week. Jeff had a slightly lesser week, and next thing you know, I'm just kind of listing them all. Vis-a-vis the funny idea is like, oh, why don't just keep it a surprise? I'll randomly guess was your idea.
Yeah.
So there is no order. Jeff has no concept of what we're going to talk about today. And it's good. This is a Trevor heavy show. I'm very sorry for Jeff fans out there. We'll try to get
They're
as much
going to
of it.
write your angry emails.
Yeah.
Let
Find
us
us at newdadgaming.com or on Twitter at newdadgaming. So if you like it, believe me, I prefer a Jeff heavy show. I'm not going to lie to you when I'm listening to my New Dad Gaming.
Right.
But this week, however, it's all me. You didn't have as much, and I got 6 things super random. Let's see how we get into it.
Okay.
All right, Jeff, what is your first number of things we'll be talking about today?
I'm going with number 4. What's behind door number 4?
All right, the kid bought the toy.
Oh, no. Go back.
Never mind, change my answer. So, listeners may remember, it was a dad stalling tactic, which Jeff rightfully pointed out, but we'll get to that in a second, or rightfully corrected me. We'll get to that in a second. My son, walking through the mall, goes to EB Games, sees a vinyl figure for Friday Night Freddy's. It's like, Dad, I want to buy this. Dad, I want to buy this. Dad, conundrum. It is your money. You've worked for this and you save it. You have your piggy bank. You are allowed to choose your own stuff. But I know you. This thing will not be touched after a week. You're going to spend all your hard-earned money like you did on past figures. We have historical context for how this is a bad idea. All right? So tell you what, let's come back in 2 weeks and see if you still want this toy. And the problem was, he damn well remembered it for 2 weeks straight, almost every day. Hey, when it's the weekend, how many days now? And can we go? And what if there's a second one? Can I buy that too? I was just like, I almost gave in out of the first week. I was like, there's no way you're forgetting this.
No.
Like a dog in a
Again,
bone.
like you give the kid a countdown, Trevor. Like, do you not remember counting down to like Christmas, birthdays, whatever else? Like, it's going to stick in their minds. Brush your teeth now. I'll forget about that in 5 minutes, but count down to what I want.
So that was the big mistake, huh? So it's always, have you had any recent examples of that where you put a time or just like a vague time against your kids and it worked? Or have they kind of started to get wise to you on that?
Oh, they've gotten wise. There's no tricking them on this stuff. Like, you can't like just out time them, right? Like, in a couple months we'll go do that. No, they'll come right back around and be like, you said aquarium. We're going to the aquarium. It's happened with the zoo. The zoo is my good example. Like, so they'll remember for months on end.
So there was no winning in this one. It was a losing proposition.
Wow.
Right. So that the toys in the house. Now, I mean, what's somewhat upsetting is the one he wanted wasn't there, but a similar one was there. It cost more, And
Of course they did.
it at very least is kind of it is cool the way they built this thing. Like it has removable parts. Like if you've seen Friday at Freddy's, like they rip off their faces and it's all mechanical.
Yeah.
So this isn't gnarly, but at least like it's kind of well built and it's sort of interesting at least. But I say that because it's probably gonna end up in my office.
I was about to say, I'm like, you're gonna play with it.
when he inevitably forgets it in a week. But
Yeah.
there it is. Good start. All right.
Okay.
What is the next number?
Okay, we're gonna go door number 2.
Ah, very good, perfect one.
Okay.
Kids are getting those Chromebooks.
Oh.
So it was a lot of thinking about how we're going to do this, and there's some thinking. Is it a good time to get them into the computer space? You know, they bring them back from school. My one son's tenacity for playing with this thing was fantastic, and the education games they had on it, it was really cool. So, you know, I just kind of hemmed and hawed, and I just thought this might be a good in to teach them some core computer skills while having some better control over the exact experience of it. Because I have some experience with Chromebooks. There are some pretty good parental controls on it. I mean, for goodness sake, like the school gives them sight unseen to the kids. So there's some pretty good controls on that. And I thought, all right, well, this will be more computer education for them. They could learn it. Like, it'd be kind of great. And I did buy the first one. And then I thought to myself, is there any universe where I can just not get my second son his own Chromebook or like tablet or something that he's going to flip out?
Right.
And
No.
it doesn't exist.
There's no universe like that. No.
And I'll say this too. We have currently Amazon Fire tablets for them.
wow.
We'd bought them in some Prime Day sale for like $30. Like it was stupid silly, cheap, right? But they're awful. They're very bad. Like I don't like to be negative and not recommend things. Prefer to focus on positive. But generally speaking, parents just don't get Fire tablets. It's very confusing and limiting. So the other part of it too is both of these things, unbelievable deal. Like these things sell for $500, but I got them for $200. Like it was a crazy open box, like Black Friday sale.
Right.
So they're I could use these things for my work, honestly, which was kind of part of my thinking too. Is that like again, if this tech gets abandoned, this could be along
Like
with
the toy, the computers are going to come to you. Everything is going to come to Trevor eventually.
everything comes into my office. But it has an actual like AMD Ryzen processor. It has SSD. It's a touchscreen. It has a pen. This thing has a pen in it.
Oh wow.
It's made by Lenovo, and a little pen pops up, and they can actually draw on the tablet. Something my kids have kind of like come to start to do.
Yep.
So for like that price, a little bit steep, but it was something that this could last them for the next 4 years, I think, as far as like their introduction into computers and everything else. So they're going to arrive, and it's going to have my first task will just be locked down like 1,000% to make sure that like nothing gets on there that isn't. Do your kids have your one son has like a gaming PC?
Yeah, so we have a gaming PC, and then the other one is just like an Acer Aspire thing. So it's still a Windows PC, but it's really like it's got that flash drive. It's got like 64 gig flash drive on it, but it runs Windows 10. I think we're at, but I've locked down those suckers like crazy. And Windows is pretty good. They have like a family safety account app, so I'm not sure how it works with Chromebooks. But I imagine the same parental controls are available. That's good.
So both your kids are just have their own PCs that they can go on to.
Yeah, yeah.
Okay.
Again, my 9-year-old is modding through like command lines, and like that's another story for another time.
Yeah.
So it can get a little out of control. So yeah, I think Chromebook's a good first step.
Yeah, and I even thought for just to replace the nonsense that they use with these Fire tablets. So our once monthly trip to see my parents, who live, give or take, like 6 hours away, they tend to have their tablets. Except these tablets suck.
Right.
So now because these things like flip and they got some good memory and amazing battery life, like this will kind of be their devices in the car while we're forcing the trek these like 6 hours across. So, you know, there's just multiple things coming together, getting them into computing, devices just for the home in case they don't like them, that are actually like powerful enough. So it all kind of came together. So now let's hope my kids don't listen to the show, because that is a Christmas present.
Oh yeah. Okay. Yeah.
So they will not be seeing it until like someone comes down the chimney. Not from Santa. They're coming from me. Like that, Santa
Oh
doesn't get
yeah.
credit.
Santa doesn't get that kind of cred. No,
He doesn't,
no,
he doesn't get the coolest gift, right?
no. And you have to set them up, so you have to play with them anyway. So
That's right. Yeah, to see how it goes. All right, pick a number. So
Okay.
we have done number 2 and number 4.
four. Okay. So let's go. Let's try number 5.
Number 5. I
number
bought
5.
God of War Ragnarok.
What? What is going on? This is the mystery door I would never have thought.
Yeah, me either. So the I'm so weak, Jeff.
It
It's just-
sounds like it. Wait, so how are you playing this? There's many questions that are going through my mind.
So I had borrowed a PS4. So like fans, Jeff. So not
Fans
yourself,
of
I
the show.
suppose.
Yes.
Will remember that I borrowed a PS4 from a good friend
Yeah.
who had a couple like from an upgrade path that he had taken, and I did that for the PlayStation streaming service to test
Yeah.
it for this very show. In fact, so I had it around, and then a good friend of the show had reached out for a podcast interview and had asked had I played God of War Ragnarok, and I didn't want to say no, so
So you did it for the show and you're like, I need to buy this now.
there was just I don't know what it was about it. Like the game looked phenomenal. I was excited about it, and then it just it's just one of those moments where it's like, oh, why not? Like this is great.
Yeah,
But
why
going into the holiday season, I got this PlayStation right here. Kids aren't on it as much. I can use even my device for streaming it because it has the local play over your local
Right,
network.
Yeah.
And there we had it. And I'll say this: so what happened? I never did beat the original Dad of War.
I was about to, again, another question. I'm like, did you beat the first one? Like, what's happening here?
No, sir, I did not.
Just jump right in.
Well, so what I did though is before I play, what the timing kind of worked perfectly in that it's like, all right, I want to watch the history of God of War. Like I want to kind of like understand like how this got here, specifically about the last game,
Right.
because I'm not going back to it. I was probably 10 hours away from beating it, maybe like 15. But I had such an amazing time with it. That was a great purchase. Very happy.
Yeah.
Never did beat it though. So, but I didn't want to go into this one because this seemed very much a story continuation from the last. So I watched the history, and I would recommend this for any gaming dad. Honestly, if you're going to dip into this series, like God of War is a lot deeper than I expected. Like even in those first games, like someone put together this amazing timeline, and it went through.
Yeah.
It went through all the PSP like prequels, and like brought it through in the story of it. I thought the story was, this great warrior lost his family, was bestowed gifts from the gods, off he went. But this is wild, man. This is like such classic, interesting, interwoven Greek mythology. It was amazing. Like it was like this 20-minute video, and it just so happened that when after I bought it, it needed a 20-minute like download to update.
Okay.
Right. So I was like, while it's downloading, I just like sat there and watched this like perfect summation of where we are today, and it really expanded me because I basically thought that the PS4 version of God of War was the first real character-driven, deep story version of the God of War series. I remember playing a PSP version once, and it was all very fun. I enjoyed it, but it didn't seem this deep. But to have the story of Kratos told chronologically,
Yeah.
with the twists and turns and the
Zeus and everything. Yeah.
man, is phenomenal. So even if a gaming dad has gotten into the previous God of War on the PS4, like Dad of War, I'll refer to just to kind of mark it properly, I'd suggest like getting up to date on your history because this story is stunning. It's really cool.
To be honest, I think I probably need it. Like because I beat the games all the way through, but there's a lot happening in gaming dad lives that you just kind of like put some things to memory and some things are just boop, out the window. So yeah, I could probably use that primer before I jump in. I haven't bought it yet, but I'll wait on your review to see how amazing this is.
Yeah, it seems true to form. I'm just a few hours in. I'm going to be playing a bunch more this week before the podcast interview. It's true to form. These people don't miss. Like they take such care and concern with this franchise. Like
Yeah.
it's just been a stunning entry. So there's going to be no. It's the other part about buying it too. It wasn't, especially at that price. You're not like, you cannot spend that much money with a will they, won't they? Will this game live up to the hype? Will this be a good experience?
Right.
And what's great about what they've crafted is like it's clearly going to be fantastic,
Yeah.
right? So can't miss.
Wow.
Yeah.
Congrats. That's
This-
totally unexpected.
That's right. See, this is great. This is the best part about all the
Yeah.
the swerves.
I like this. I like this format. We should do this more often.
Yeah, as long as I have these like gangbuster weeks every week,
Hey.
I can't afford these kind of weeks, Jeff. Every week.
Save them up, comes in waves. This is great.
Yes,
Okay, that was door number 5. Was it?
Yeah,
Let's
so
go
we
to 1. Let's do 1. Number 1.
Okay, so this will be a bit more near and dear to your heart, and you factor into this story. So, Vampire Survivors,
Yes.
you you did not do an accurate job of describing how damn perfect this game is.
It's pretty fun.
And this week, I messaged you because what's so perfect about it's everything you love. The gameplay loop is tight and fun. It is addictive in the right sense. You want to do it again. It's just one more game, one more game, one more quarter, one more shot. There's enough player agency that you feel like you're in a control, but it's different a little bit every time because you're choosing a route and you're on a good run. Like, okay, well, I picked these 4 power-ups this time, but this one became available. Like, there's dynamic part to it.
Right.
But eventually, and then there's the power like the feeling of being unbelievably powerful, which is one of like the lost things in gaming in some ways I find now. Like, where that moment where you have struggled and you have struggled and you have struggled, and all of a sudden it all just clicks together and you are just mowing down the things you could not get past. Like, it was unbelievable. And so I write you, so it is, I don't know, like Saturday, like 9 p.m. Or I think it was even during the week. This is my workout game now. So I'll sit there, like I'll be on the bike.
Yeah.
And this is perfect because like, a max session will be 30 minutes, which I learned because I became so powerful in game that I just wasn't dying. I'm just sitting there like, so I just do this forever now? So I had to message you. I was like, Jeff, does this just
end?
go forever? Does this end? Do I just quit? Like, how did you discover that? What was your thoughts when you first had what felt like it was going to be an infinite run? Like, how did you figure out that like there was a time limit per level?
Yeah, like as soon as I kind of noticed the waves that come in, I think around like 10, 11 minutes, there's like this first like crash of, it's usually like skeletons or something, right?
Yeah.
And then at like 22, like again, it's like crushing you. I'm like, okay, at the very least, it's probably going at like another 10 minutes from now. So I'll give it that time and then I'll call it, because at a half an hour run in gaming dead time is like the perfect amount. I don't think I want to do much more than that. And lo and behold, like at like 29:45, everything, like the whole screen is just enemies, like just descending upon you, and you better have the power ups ready and like everything jacked to maximum. And I think that's when 30 hit, and I'm like, oh my god, thank you. Like, this is great. Perfect. Shut her down.
No, it's just like I honestly think it's like game of the year. There's multiple levels. I didn't even know there's multiple levels.
Yeah.
Like there's power-ups of it. The moment that happened, what's funny is my son found the game. It was I had installed it on the console. Despite buying it on PC, I wanted it on console just because of the workout stuff.
Yep.
So got it again. Son discovered it. He started to play it. Absolutely loves it. Like he's just going crazy, right? But it's one that we played together. So he had a session, and then I had a session, and then one of my greatest sessions was with him. Like just
perfect.
all the power-ups just clicked, right?
Yeah.
Killed it. And we were just like howling with laughter. It's like, oh my, look at this. Like, it's like, what happens if you choose the knives? And I had to level up, and almost is one of those versions where sometimes the game just gives you 6 levels up in a row.
Yeah.
Like, here you go. And next thing you know, you're just beyond powerful.
Yeah.
So at this point, I'm throwing out 1,000 knives. Things are just being mowed in front of me, and we are laughing, just laughing at it. And again, that moment was like, this is the game of the year. I really think that.
Yeah.
There's just something so poetic
so
about
accessible and so likable, right? Like, again, jump in with your kids. My kids got in there, loved it to pieces. So yeah, I'm with you. Again, I recommended it, but I didn't like really hype it up because
You didn't?
Like, I'm not so sure. I don't know.
God, you
Maybe
didn't-
it's just me.
No, you didn't do. you did not do it any near justice. Like, it's unbelievable. Like, it's just like, once again, you underhyped the game. You should have been screaming from the rooftop. This will be, I think this should win Game of the Year. I really do. It's so tight. It's so fun. That power feeling of finally surpassing the limitations.
Yeah.
Just haven't had this since I was a kid. It's so 1,000% this is Game of the Year.
Right there, over God of War Ragnarok. Look at you.
Yep.
Vampire Survivors.
Yes, sir.
All right, that was door number 1. Are we done with door number 1? Are we closing that?
All right, so you finished number 1.
Oh, okay. I think I have 3 and 6, so I'm going to go door number 6.
Okay. So one thing I do hate about this, like I'm just a gross consumerist. That's what I'm realizing about this show.
What did Trevor buy next? Let's check out
That was
door
it.
number 6.
Honestly, it happened. So I bought the beer calendar.
Did you?
I did it, yeah, because I'm worried about. I'm not that good at drinking. I don't drink that much.
Right.
But
But
my parents had come up for a visit, and I was telling them about it, and my dad got like super interested in it. And him and I, like, we love to have drinks together. It's like one of our fun bonding experiences. And my mom says, like, well, I'll get him that for Christmas. It'll be great. It'll be his early Christmas present. And then you guys can like share the beers over the calendar to compare notes.
right.
I was like, that is so cool. Like, that's what all right. So this is clearly a purchase now. I got to get that done.
Yeah.
But I love the thought of it of, if we push ourselves way into the future, it doesn't have to be drinking, of course. It could be like any old thing. It could be coffee, video games, like whatever it is. But those opportunities, even as adults, to kind of both buy into the same experience and experience it together, like, seems so like fantastic and memorable. So it was, I think, most notable for the fact that it's something I'd be able to bond with my own dad. So this isn't about being a dad. This is about being a son and bonding with someone over beer.
Right. Yeah. And again, you can just add that to the show as a beer dad and dad of the show kind of review. So that's awesome. Look at you.
Mm-hmm. I was thinking of getting ahead of it, because I had the first beer. I'm not supposed to till December 1st.
Yeah.
But I was like, I just cannot drink every day.
Are you guys gonna egg each other on and be like, all right, Dad, did you drink yours tonight? What's going on?
Let's go. It's like, Trevor, I have the flu. I really can't do this. Like, no, you got to
kidding.
drink. You have to do it.
Don't you love me? Aren't you going to do this?
This is our bonding time, man.
8:00 phone call. Where are you, Dad?
Oh man, so my mom. I mentioned to my mom that I'd cracked it early, and she said, "Make sure to save your notes." I was like, "Okay," like, because it seems like he's really gung ho about like doing it the daily. So I almost felt guilty, but I gotta get ahead of it, man. I cannot keep up. Like, I'm not a daily drinker. I got work. I wake up every day. My kids' school.
I mean,
lunches for school.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I was actually going to. My strategy was to, even for like the daily reveal, was just keep the empty cans that I like. But now I think it's part. I got to mark them specially just so I know. But I think I'm going to start taking like a logbook just so when he calls. I don't know. I think I might wait. I might just do it daily. Try to like.
You're gonna have to keep the cans in case he like FaceTimes you or something. You're like, so you're drinking the can and you got it like filled with water or something. You're like,
oh my goodness. Yeah, tell you what, it's gonna be notes. I'm gonna write down notes, and then if he calls about that day, it's like, what I did find when I drank that last month was X, Y, and Z.
Yeah.
So
that's good. That's fun.
It's fun and exciting. I'm glad he's into it. I think it's gonna be like a blast.
Yeah. Yeah. Absolutely. Wow. All right. Okay. Well, what else did you buy in door number 3, the last door Trevor bought? Drum roll, please.
I hate that you guessed it. I don't know if you could read the chevron.
Oh my God! You got a. Yeah. I didn't even see it. Okay. No. Hold on. Let me just read this out.
Yeah.
Dad got a gaming laptop, so Trevor.
What is that?
Got a gaming laptop. Wow.
Yeah.
Okay. Is that with like Chromebooks? Like, is this?
So the problem is, Jeff. Yeah, the challenge was not challenge. It's amazing. Like, it was just a heck of a week. There was a lot of planning for Christmas. which this obviously ends up being like my Christmas gift for the year. But when you're perusing all these sales, like this thing just popped up. It's like, hell. It's like
Right there. Yeah.
too perfect. So like, it was marked down. It was like 50% off. But it represent my current gaming PC, which is perfectly fine. And that was one of the questions. Like my wife was asked, like, we discussed the purchase. Like, do you need it? And I'm like, no, I do not need it. Like, I got to be real clear about that.
Right.
I'll say recently on a business trip, my current one was a bit bulky. It very big. It is 5 years old, and the battery is just garbage. Now, battery on a gaming laptop is never going to be great. So let's not kid ourselves. But at very least, like this one gets, even at the lowest power setting, like an hour and a half.
Right. It doesn't hold the charge, right? Like 5 years is a long time for laptop battery.
This new one will get like 4 or 5, depending on like how you treat it, which is just a bit more respectable should I be out of power. That's fine. I didn't need to do that though. Like it really was about, the sale was crazy. It is an upgrade after 5 years. And the biggest push for me honestly was VR.
I was about to say.
Yeah,
where's your
Dad's in space,
spaceship?
man. Got it to work. I lived the dream. I was in Elite Dangerous in VR.
Oh, hold up. You actually got into VR. You've tested
Yep.
this all out. It's all working.
It worked because I had the Oculus Quest.
Yeah.
And what's beautiful with this device, which I'm kind of surprised about, is that you can just with a wire connect it to a suitable PC, which this one is. My previous one was not. And you can just play VR games and it streams it to your headset. It was awesome. Now, it does take some fiddling. So, like, any gaming dads out there thinking, like, it's not... Like, I had to go... At first, it wouldn't show up, and I had to, like, change the setting, and then I had to, like, update this driver, then I had to uninstall this thing. You know, like, it's not... What's great about the Quest as far as a VR experience for, you know, dads and families is that you just put it on your face and you're in VR. It works. Working with a PC, it comes with all of those caveats, much like you must experience with your kids now. Like, it's just not perfectly easy as it is with a console or something like that.
You do have to fiddle, and that's fine. I think that's a good skill to have, and it keeps you sharp if you have to do it nowadays.
I kind of liked it, honestly. I like playing around with, like, PCs and getting things to fix. It's like, as a hobbyist, like, I just enjoy computers. So that part was all great. But it's just, it was great, man. Like, just putting it on, like, being in this space, it looked phenomenal. So, like, it's a RTX 3060, which is a fairly... Pretty decent. Like, I think they're in the 40s, 70s now or some nonsense like that.
Yeah, overpriced stuff. But no, that's a good baseline.
Man, that was like so... It was just so great. It's so awesome to be inside of this VR thing. And also going to be too, like, I have Elden Ring. We had bought it.
Oh, that's right. Oh my God, you have so many games.
It's much like your Steam Deck. It just becomes this moment of like, I got all these like PC games I should be dipping back into.
Yes.
So
man, that's so awesome. I'm so excited.
Yeah, I know. So it was big. Guilt. I mean, it's expensive, but the other, well, not even that expensive. I don't mind talking about. So I ended up paying $1,000 for it.
Okay.
And as a PC that normally is 1,600 to 1,800.
Yeah.
So it was a heck of a Black Friday deal. Plus, it was like open box, which I've had stunning luck with, to be honest, as far as like open boxes, especially when it's sold by somewhere like a Best Buy.
Yeah, because you can always find them, right? Like if you can go back and
Oh, there's huge guarantees. Like, just like if this shows up and it's not working at all, you just return it to it.
Yeah.
So the other, like, the small part about it was, so I got my son's Chromebooks for themselves, and that's pretty good. But I know immediately what they're going to want as part of their PC journey is like Minecraft, and and I think like full perfect Minecraft. Minecraft can be installed on Chromebooks.
Yes.
It's a bit dicey.
Yeah.
I'll be playing around with it. I'm going to see if I can do it. But ultimately, I also envision this place where, like, okay, so my old gaming PC, which is still wonderfully capable, it's okay, right? Not for the stuff I want to do, but it's still like a good gaming PC.
Right.
I think that's going to become the kids' gaming PC.
You made it all work. This was a plan. This is all planned out.
It all came together.
That's right.
That's why I was like bursting to the seams when I first showed up here, because I was like, Jeff.
Again, lots of doors to open and lots of Trevor surprises. I love it.
Trevor surprise. This is going to have to be the last week like this for a while, because that was a pretty gangbuster week. But Man, that yeah, dads in VR, kids in mine and computers in Minecraft. Actually, remember to purchase something. Vampire Survivors Game of the Year. Kid, remember the damn toy. Game of War, Dad of War bought,
Jeez.
and the beer calendar as well. What was the most
Yes.
surprising from all your numbers?
The gaming laptop.
Really?
Actually, no. Ragnarok was
I was
the
gonna
most
say.
surprising because I never. Just because you didn't finish the first one, and I just thought it was lower on the radar for you, and you mentioned something about Chromebooks and stuff as we were talking through the week, but like I don't know, God of War, man, awesome. Look at you go,
Look at my week.
gaming dads raising other gaming dads up. I love it.
All right, and next week when Jeff has his secret numbered list,
Ooh, yeah, yeah.
you have to go to your wife and like, hey, listen, Trevor had a really big week this week.
We had a really good show, and I have to kind of copy that, and we need to keep this momentum going. So, how much money do we have?
Now we actually got some comments here from the live stream. So there's a random survey question. Oh boy.
I hope it's about God of War. Or about
Nah, I
you.
kind of wish it was. So it's have you ever given somebody a wedgie before or gotten one?
I mean,
The more appropriate, what I'm kind of curious about it, if my kid ever gets a wedgie, is like how I'm going to coach him through that as a dad, where it's like, you see, son, sometimes when the boys get together on the play yard, yeah, I for sure did. Like growing up, like we had a good group of friends, but we're all rowdy, like tussling and such like that. So it certainly like had it. Nothing atomic, like where they rip the underwear, put it over your head. Had been seen in some movies, but yeah, I had my fair share of them for sure. Given, that wasn't really my style. I'm more curious about if my kids will ever get it. I've given it to my kids myself, but almost like a playing around where I would have just grabbed them by like the pants
yeah,
and like hiked them up and like threw them over a couch or something.
yeah,
But
yeah,
they haven't received it yet. I'll be curious in the kids' first wedgie when that come about.
yeah. I hope they don't exist anymore. I think that's like this form of assaults that we don't really talk about. So I hope they don't get it. But I don't think I ever had anything like that. Again, I grab my kids and have fun with them, but like, it's not nothing. I'm not getting the wedgies. Let's good survey question. I
Yeah,
guess. Yeah.
not bad. So hey, so thanks JT987. Appreciate it. All right, everybody, that does it for this week. Thank you so much for listening. This has been New Dad Gaming. If you like this show, you can find us on all the major podcasting networks. You can find us on Spotify, Google Play, Apple iTunes, Caster, anywhere where you get your podcasts. If you do find us on one of those platforms, we'd really appreciate if you subscribe and if you leave a comment. Leaving a comment or a rating really helps boost the signal of this particular show. Do you have any comments on the show? Do you have any suggestions? Do you have your own Game of the Year contender? Did you buy a gaming PC? Did you have a game of moving chairs with PCs in your household where your kids are going to adopt the younger ones? Are you getting them something cool for Christmas? All these topics and more. We love to hear about it. One of the greatest parts of this show has absolutely been all the conversations we've been having with fellow gaming dads on social. So please do reach out. You can find us at our website, newdadgaming.com, or on our Twitter at newdadgaming. Let us know what you're thinking. All right, everyone. Thanks so much for listening. Until next week, my name is Trevor. Had a hell of a week on this end. Jeff is still reeling. It's great. Yeah. My name is Trevor, and I have a 7-year-old and a 5-year-old.
And I'm Jeff. I have a 12-year-old, 9-year-old, and went through 6 of the doors of Trevor's mystery mansion here with all the great stuff we've had this week. So I'll let you know.
All right. Remember, everybody, just because you became a dad
Does not mean it's game over.
All right. See you next
See
week.
you next time.